Well, we start this video in the footwell. So I have fitted the Tornado ECU chip into the ECU. Obviously this vehicle should have really had one, being a 4.6 engine, but for some reason it did not. So a couple of pictures here for you. It had a soldered in EEPROM originally, not one you could remove and just slot in the new Tornado ECU chip. So obviously I've desoldered that, fitted a socket, and then fitted the chip with a decoder board. Now Mark at Tornado Systems also has supplied me with a airflow meter, Bosch airflow meter fitting kit, which the ECU chip is obviously programmed for, because the airflow meter signal is different on that. But the section I'm now on is the CO trim, because the Bosch airflow meter does not have a CO trimmer in it. So we have to fit this one, which means cutting a wire in here. The original CO trim wire that runs from here up to the airflow meter, we actually repurposed to take 5 volts from here as a 5 volt reference up to the Bosch airflow meter. And then we attach this to the CO trim wire that's obviously then loose and nothing connected to, that goes to the ECU, and the other end gets a signal ground, all detailed in Mark's instructions, which I've got a copy of here. I won't, well, they're on my phone, because that's where I've got everything saved. Mark normally supplies them off with a sheet of paper, but you know, I've known Mark a long time. He knows I've got the instructions. So that's what I'm doing here now. After this bit, I'll then go on to the actual changing the plug for the airflow meter. That's things completed down here then. Got the tune resistor. Nah, that's not the tune resistor. This is the tune resistor. So we'll start here then. Got the tune resistor, chopped out the original green tune resistor, denoted by the wire colours, and wired in 3 resistors in series here to give the correct ohms reading for what would have been the white tune resistor. Last time I checked, which admittedly was several years ago, you couldn't buy these new anymore. So back then we started making them up, supplied quite a few out. So yeah, that was a no-brainer. That will put us into the CAT fuel map, which will reference the lambda sensors still as well. So that's what we needed to do there. And then we have the CO trimmer. So that's wired in into its significant pins here. The blue-red wire has been chopped as per the instructions. You need to make sure you get the right blue wire as well. Some of these have got 2 in. So yeah, that's been chopped, and then the 5 volt reference is now feeding up that blue-red wire to the airflow meter, which I'm now going to go over to. Up to the airflow meter plug then. This is the old hot wire plug that's going to be removed and make way for the new plug for the Bosch airflow meter. So a couple of wires to link in here, and then that'll be good and ready for whatever pipework I create in this area, which I'm still working on at the moment, but will be done by the end of this video. There we have it, the Bosch connector wired in there. So that's now got 12 volt feed, 5 volt reference feed, up the original CO trimmer wire, the signal earth, and then obviously the airflow meter signal wire that goes back to the ECU. All done, ready for that airflow meter to connect to. Air pipe sorted then. What I've ended up doing, just using a 90. Should have gone there straight away, but sometimes you've got to go down the wrong rabbit hole first. Rotating this airbox around almost through 90 degrees, so the mounting posts are actually upright rather than horizontal. I've removed the snout. I've actually 3D printed a trim piece for this, so it'll be a bit nicer, no sharp edges. So yeah, the natural bend in the airbox that used to point it down helps me out there. The airflow meter still clips on with the original clips. The electrical socket is under there, and obviously we've got the re-terminated a new plug there to go on that, so that will fit nicely. LPG mixer ring is on, and then some silicon joiners, and this one is the reducer. got to fabricate some brackets. I'll still use the original rubbers in here and in here. I'll probably try and bend this round through 180 degrees so it's not sticking up, but still got the mounting post here. If that doesn't work, then I may just use the lower mount and actually remove the upper and just have the two mounts here as well. You can tell it's rigid, but I don't want to obviously rely on just Jubilee clips and things to hold it in place, but it does need a little bit of wibble wobble, just as engine and everything moves on its engine mounts. But yeah, pleased with that for an intake pipe. On to air conditioning. So I've got a new condenser, or the rad that fits in the very front here, new to us anyway. So that has different connections on here. I'm now about to unbox that to confirm those connections, and then actually fit it to the car and go from there on the fittings. Before I do that though, I should have also mentioned, you'll notice the radiator cowl is on. It's only loosely on at the moment, so I've had to trim it considerably to allow for the intermediate serpentine fan position. Overlay the picture here of some of the trimming work. What I've done is I've 3D printed some of these little kind of walls almost. So my plan is to put them around here, get the correct positioning of them, and then actually use these as a mould almost to add fiberglass to the original cowling to create that nice arc here for the blades. And then I'll do something the same or similar on this side, because I've got a bit of a gap between the fan. Obviously the fan's moved over and down slightly, so that's the issue we've got there. Did have a look around for one of these for an intermediate serpentine Range Rover or even a Discovery. Couldn't find one at the time. No doubt one will turn up when I've carried out all the work to make this one what it can be. AC progress then. So now I've got pipes actually connect to the condenser. One of those pipes goes straight up to the dryer, nice easy fit as it's meant to be. However, obviously because we've got the intermediate serpentine front end, the pipes here all get a bit different. So this is the original from the car. Obviously it's not going to plug into the pump, nor is the one that goes to the condenser. That's not going to fit into the pump either. Thankfully the condenser has got the original pipes on it, so essentially these two pipes need joining and these two pipes need joining. However, the original pump had the filling ports on it. On an intermediate serpentine or a P38 Range Rover, etc., the filling points are on the hard lines that run across and up to the interior of the car. So I think I've found some joiners that have the filling points on. Well, in fact, I have found some joiners and the crimp tool to join rubber pipes with the filling ports on. Lovely jubbly. However, these pipes are slightly different diameters. These pipes are slightly different diameters. Now, obviously, that's external, but the crimp joint, the external size, you know, it has to be taken into account. The ID size, well, I could work out measuring the steel pipe, obviously. So yeah, I've actually got to find some joiners with filling points that also potentially reduce the pipe down. So let's see what can be done there. Potentially something could be fabricated. I could buy joiners, chop them up, make a aluminium block with the filling port in it, and then weld the joiners onto them and then crimp or something like that. I don't know. There is always a way. Let's find out what way works here. Time for the concluding part of this video then. So, bracketry on the airbox, all done, nice and rigid. So basically cut the original bracket in half, put joiner in the middle, a bit of angle iron, and all lovely jubbly. Very similar with this bracket here. Very difficult to see, I know, but cut it in two, bent this round back on itself so it wasn't sticking up in the air, so it's all a little bit neater. And yeah, all bolted into the original places on the wings, down here and down here. So I haven't actually drilled any additional holes or anything like that. nice and rigid, lovely. As you can see, painted the 90-degree stainless pipe black. LPG mixer ring is on and sealed on now, and the LPG feed pipe is here as well, all in position, ready for me to deal with the wiring. I've got a bit of a bird's nest of wiring down here to sort out. I've got the emulators to wire in. The main power feed originally was sort of going across the engine. Joe's asked me to tidy that up, so going to route that differently. What else have we done? Air conditioning. So condenser is now bolted in place, made some angled brackets to again come off the original holes in the headlamp boxes each side. Got the fan mounted on there. It's not an original fan off of the Classic, I don't think. It's the fan that this vehicle came in with on a different condenser, but the plug on it didn't resemble anything at plug in here, although obviously it was all different anyway. I'm not really sure what happened with the condenser that was on this when it came into me and what potentially was on the car originally, but checked on the terminals here, tested the fan up. I've actually got to run negative to blue and positive to black so that the fan spins in the right direction. There's no point having it spin blowing air towards the camera right now, because it'll just be working against airflow and the viscous fan. So got two connectors here for the original twin fans. Obviously we can always add a second fan if needed, so just got to order a plug for that. I don't really want to do male and female spade terminals. I'd much rather just buy a plug and do it nicely. So yeah, that's in. Aircon pipework, got the battery out at the moment still, so yeah, that's all connected with brand new seals, and brand new seals up to the dryer as well. And as you can see, crimp terminal for the high pressure side is in place. This pipe, lovely jubbly. This pipe is, the ID was the correct size, the OD was smaller. Couldn't find a reducer. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the aircon pipework on the intermediate serpentine AC systems. Nothing seems to dimensionally tie up with anything in the books I've got or any internet searches I've got. So this is crimped down, it is tight, but obviously the proof will be in the pudding of running it. Now then, these two pipes for the low pressure side, slightly more tricky because the ID of this hose is larger. With these two hoses, the ID was the same size, so as long as I got a good crimp on here, I was happy that it should seal. For the low pressure side, this pipe is the right size for here. That will crimp up lovely. However, on this side, try and do this, it is the ID, well, both the ID and the OD. The OD is a little bit smaller. I think the crimp will probably take that up, but the ID obviously is my concern. What I'm considering is making an alley sleeve to press over this fitting inside here, so I've got the right OD to fit inside this ID, and then TIG weld around the end so it's all sealed. My TIG welder's at work at the moment, I've just remembered, so that I do need to take into consideration with the planning. However, that's what I've got in place at the moment for the low pressure side, and obviously then have that joiner sat there with the filling point. So ABS pump, I plan to use the P38 Range Rover pump, mount that around about here. It looks to me, I haven't confirmed with the wiring diagrams yet, but I will be. It looks to me like the pressure sensor, it's the same plug, same pin layout, but I haven't checked the actual connections of what the switches do or the pressures, so I will just double check that. But my money, it's Wabco C on both pump variations, so I reckon we're going to be okay just to plug that directly in there. Powering the pump up, again, not a problem. 2-pin plug here, 2-pin plug over here. I will probably utilize this plug, get rid of this one, and join the wires. I'm just waiting for an inlet to turn up because this pipe size is a lot larger than the one on here. I've ordered some new pipe correct for brake fluid, so I can start with a longer piece and cut it to the length I want to then join onto the new barb fitting that I have to go in here. And I've also ordered the fittings to do a banjo with a steel braided nylon hose to then join directly into the brake master cylinder here. I had originally considered just popping the banjo off here straight onto this here. That would have meant this accumulator would have still been in the system, potentially not a problem. However, I figured if I can do it just directly from here, obviously it's already got the accumulator on, straight into the ABS module, a lot cleaner, a lot neater solution than kind of reutilizing the original pipework, the original accumulator, having two accumulators on the system. I don't think it'd cause a problem, but yeah, I like to reduce joins where possible, and that was the solution that I've come up with. It might not work yet, we'll see in the next video. So thanks for watching. Hang on, like, subscribe, all that business. I will show in the next video how noisy this pump is. Can't at the moment, no battery. And then also fiberglassing for the radiator cowl. I've got fiberglass on order and releasing agent. I've never used releasing agent before, I've never used molds before, so this will be interesting. Well, interesting to me. I'm not sure about you folk watching it, but hey, there's always fast forward, skip, or find another video. Anyway, thanks for watching, catch you next time, bye.